Following is a special sports presentation from the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 Hank FM. WLGC, Greenup, Ashland, Ironton. 105.7 Hank FM WLGC and the Total Media Sports Network presents the Boyd County Lions Coaches Show, a weekly look at Boyd County High School athletics. Live from 105.7 Hank FM Kool TV Studios. Here's the voice of the Boyd County Lions, Greg Preston.
Glad to have you along. Boyd County this week, they come in at 5-3 overall, 1-2 in district play after a defeat Friday night to Ashland at home. This week's upcoming opponent will be Rowan County. The Lions will travel down to Moorhead to take on the Vikings this Friday night. And we'll go ahead right now and give you the number for the text questions. It's 740-302-0936. Again, that's 740-302-0936. Greg Preston now joined by Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson. And Coach, glad to have you along again here this week. It's always great being out here and talking to you.
Well, I appreciate you coming back out here, and thanks for Reds again to having us out tonight. So, like you said, we got a big one coming up this week with Rowan County to finish up district play, and we'll get after it.
And, you know, your team has a chance to keep their destiny in their own hands as far as playoffs go. This week a win, and you know for sure that you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, we leave any chance of an RPI decision out of at that point. And while it might be likely, no matter what, we want to make sure we go ahead and get the win that we can go get.
Yep, and you know, this past week took on Ashland, and there's a lot to learn from that ball game.
Yeah, I mean, plain simple, I love our guys, and you know, but simply put, I haven't seen that team of ours on the field yet, and
right.
We talked about it several times about, you know, I knew it would be a good four-quarter game, and simply put, it wasn't. And that's unacceptable on our part, and I need to make sure the kids are more prepared as a unit. And so anybody can blame anything on me, but that's what I'm here for. But I'm just really proud of where we're still at in the year, and it's time to bounce back and go back to playing Boyd County football.
Yep, and you know, you got a good group of seniors, a good group of leaders.
Yeah, I think overall today, today's practice kind of shows the character of our kids. There's no doubt that, you know, go ahead and get this off our chest.
Yep.
I feel like there's probably more hype in our community for last week's game than there is any other throughout the year. And that's what rivalry games do bring, and you have to expect that. And simply put, we didn't show up for it and do what we needed to do. But, you know, we could have taken and crumbled at that point, but I actually think that we had one of our best practices, at least in a long time, this today. And it was just really meant a lot to me that we had effort from all the kids. I mean, we had good JV work, we had good varsity, we had good work overall, and that just shows, like I said, great character of our kids to go out there and get the job done. We actually, you know, one of our messages to the team was there was a big team that won a lot of games last year. If I'm not mistaken, they won the national championship. I hate to give them credit, but the Ohio State Buckeyes. But Ohio State, you know, after their defeat to Michigan, or as everybody likes to call it, the team up north last year, a lot of people had written off Ohio State. They'd written off Ryan Day. They'd written off everything about the Buckeye program last year. And the only people that believed in what they could still do was those guys in the locker room. And that's kind of been my message to the guys so far this week is we have to make sure that we have each other's backs. We win as a team, but we also lose as a team. And I think we can't let one game define us, and it doesn't define high school football. One game does not. These are kids that are, you know, coming to school every day. You know, they got a lot of stuff going on, but you know what? They came out today and they had a good practice, and we can go a long way still. And we've already shown that we can compete. We have to find a way to get over the hump, but we've competed with the best of the best in 4A already, and had our chances to go win against the number one team in 4A. We have to go make sure we lock in and get the job done from this point forward.
Right, and you know, you and I talked before we came on the air here Not worried so much necessarily about our opponent now. We're worried about ourselves.
Right. Well, we are probably, if we can win this week, it almost with almost complete certainty. There's still some possible scenarios, but we're almost guaranteed to go to Covington Catholic round one if we go win this week.
Yep.
That's how it's predicted to play out, and that's barring an upset from Harrison or Mason County over Covington Catholic in the next 2 weeks. So not trying to disrespect those two teams, but we know what Covington Catholic brings to the table.
Yes.
And let's just say they're going to be heavy favorites in those games. But we have to make sure at this point we have the Rowan County game, a district game. I still don't. I've not forgotten. I'm never going to forget being stuck in an overtime battle to win a district title in 22, and we pulled that one off against them. And we played in a district championship in the second round of playoffs against them in 2020. So we have had some really good battles with this team in the past, and it's always going to be to get a win is always a good thing in high school sports. So we want to be locked in this week to get that. And we're going to play a really good Lawrence County ball club here in a couple of weeks after our bye week. But I've said before, we're in a blessed opportunity. We can always look there. We can look at the positives, the negative. We can look at all the downside. Let's look at the bright side. We have the opportunity right now to get right this week and have a great bounce-back game and figure out some things. We got to work on us. You asked me about have you watched these different films, on different teams before I got here, and I was like, we had a lot to fix on our own after Friday night. And we finally, I think we've been playing some good football until last week, but I think there's an argument it kind of showed the places that we were arguably surviving at instead of thriving at.
Yeah.
And we made a couple of changes today, and I thought we had a really good practice. I thought the kids really responded well. Just overall, I think the coaches did a great job of, we all took this one hard. It's no secret.
Yes.
The kids did too, and I think that, the character they had to come back and get to work today was fantastic. But we have a blessed opportunity to go out here and let's go get a great game. Let's go get a win this Friday night. We want to focus on whatever we have to do to get this win Friday. Then we have another opportunity to get rested up. We have some bangs up. I always try to I don't want to give I never want to give an excuse of we're hurt while something didn't happen or we have an injury or whatever. But at the same time, injuries do happen. You play 8 consecutive weeks in a high school football season, you're going to be banged up, and then you add 2 scrimmages in with that, and the camp week before. I mean, they've really been on a nonstop grind since the start of August, and really since July, if you count 7-on-7 period. So we've really been nonstop grind here. So we have an opportunity to get a rest after a win. We want to go take care of business, get a win. We want to go get some rested up, and then we get tested by a really, really good ball club in Lawrence County.
Yes.
And we're going to go give it all to go win. But for the sake of on the peace of mind, we're going to go win it. But for the sake of the big picture, we have the opportunity to try to work on things to get better going into our playoff week. And really, I still think we have an opportunity to make some noise in the playoffs and go make a run at it. We've shown that potential in our ball club, and we're still yet to play our best game yet. We've played some best games so far, but we haven't played to our potential yet. We got to keep working to get there, plain simple.
Yeah, and and I think you kind of alluded to it there. If you can get the win Friday night, the bye week's really a blessing coming in that week.
It'll be good to get that bye week after. If we can win, it lets you get all this monkey off of our back for last week.
Yes.
And we're still going to talk about it. I get that. But for the sake of our football team, we are now on Rowan County this week, and we need to go get after it and go take care of business. That's all we can do. We can't control anything what happened in the past. Nobody can. I know you teach history.
Yep.
We got to learn from our history. We got to learn from our past, but we can only control the future and the present. So let's go take care of what we can.
And, Rowan County is going to be a worthy opponent. I know they come in at 1-6 and 0-2, but Kelly Ford teams are always good.
I think he does a great job of getting the most out of his talent. And I was just bringing up injuries. They've dealt with a plethora of injuries this year.
Yes, they have.
And I think that the ball club, and I don't really know, we don't have the status reports like an NFL injury report where they update it. You don't know really where those kids are at on coming back. They have some really talented athletes that, haven't played the last couple of weeks, but at any point could come back and really be a game changer for that for their football team. And so we got to make sure we just prepare to be the best version of ourselves. We do that every single week. I think, whenever you let you focus on the opponent too much, you're going to struggle. And we have to go back to focus on who we are, and that's all we can do.
Yep, and, regardless of what happened last week, we still have a bunch of good players.
Absolutely. I think we have a good ball club. We had a couple we didn't have our best game, and that's putting it lightly, I know. But at the same time, I can sit here and I'm not going to say anything negative about it. It's just over and done with, and we need to move forward.
Yep. Let's go ahead, step out, take our first break of the evening. Let's go ahead and start getting some questions texted in. The number again, 740-302-0936. That's 740-302-0936. Back to Red's Place and the Boyd County Coaches Show after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Hungry for flavor that hits the spot? Red's Place in the Meade Station Plaza has been serving Ashland for 7 years, and they're just getting started. From fan-favorite stuffed mushrooms to hand-patty burgers like the Red's Loaded Burger to jumbo wings tossed in your choice of 20 sauces. You'll taste the difference every time. At Red's Place, it's more than great food. It's personalized service that makes you feel right at home. Red's Place, 8130 Route 60 in Ashland. Find them on Facebook and taste the tradition.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical homes, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Looking for the latest archery gear? Check out Border Sporting Goods for your best selection of Hoyt and Matthews bows, as well as 10-point crossbows with a full selection of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with a full selection of benchmark and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small you need to keep your firearms safe. Before your next hunting excursion, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams, fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee, and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show on 105.7 FM WLGC. You know, first of all, thanks to WLGC for allowing us to put the Coaches Show on every week. And for carrying the Lions every week. It's been a good marriage.
Their coverage has been fantastic. I mean, that's thanks to you and Ian, Coach Fraley, but I mean WLGC in general and Kool TV has been just a class act of everything they've done this year, and we just really appreciate the support they do for all Boyd County athletes, not just our football team, but we definitely appreciate the support with football, with doing a coaches show, and getting to showcase a lot of our kids' talents that way. But doing a great job.
And we're back at Red's Place here at 8130 U.S. Route 60. Come and join us here tonight if you're passing by, or you can join us next Tuesday night as well, as we'll be back. Now we're going to get to some questions. And, Coach, there was a question that came through, something about orange on that?
Yeah, shout out to my fifth period class on we might have to pick out the imposter on who said that in class tomorrow, but glad they're tuned in.
Let's go ahead and get some questions here. The first one says, even in a tough game, there are always some positives. What did you see your team do well last week?
It was a tough game. I'm just going to start with that. Overall, I just think that I'm going to go ahead and say there are some positives, but I want to start with, you kind of see that there was moments in that game where we played really good football. Mm-hmm. And I had to almost go back and remind it, there's a lot of coaches say, the film's never, when you watch the film, it's never as good as you think it is, or it's never as bad as you think it is. And there was definitely several moments where I realized it probably wasn't as bad as we thought it was. We had a lot of kids do some really good things for us. I think Ian Branham had a really good game actually for us and played really hard. I think that there was some moments that I'd argue, but it was that there's a snowball that kind of started rolling on the hill, and we mentally didn't have a chance to. I think we turned it over right before halftime, and them getting that last score before half, I think that really sucked the wind out of the stadium, and it took away a lot of our momentum. And because we had it back to 7-7 there, and we had two. You can't give up 2 possessions to get 2 scores down, and while you can and come back from it, we can't do what we did as far as kind of crumble at that point.
And then they got the ball right after the half too, and that hurt.
Yeah, it just overall was there was probably more negatives. I'll say that much. So, but the positives were that we had some wins, and we got to show whenever we did it right. Well, I think whenever we tried to do too much, I think sometimes we focus arguably on the opponent. I think our kids thought we had to be something bigger than what we were to be successful, and we have to remember that we are a good football team, and there's a lot of really good football players. And I think sometimes we got carried away with trying to make a special player, trying to do something extraordinary. Whenever we just continued to fit our gap the correct way on defense, we had it settled. Whenever we decided to step the correct way and just drive our feet, we had stuff working on offense a little bit. We just had 1 or 2 mistakes almost every play, and it's hard to win that way.
Right, it is. And we'll go on to the next question, and you've somewhat answered this because it's been a short week in practice so far, but how has the team responded in practice so far?
Like I already said, I think, and I almost think I'm betraying the kids a little bit right now, because I told them, I said, after we got done with practice today, well, we talked about before practice, and I said, we're not talking about last week anymore. It's over and done with. But for the sake of the show, I think our kids, have really responded well. I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of us that are really down. They've probably heard more about it. There've been more people probably know and see what happened whenever we played Ashland than what we've done with the other 5 wins on our schedule, right? And that's part of the animal you're dealing with when you're playing Ashland in a big rivalry game like that. But we're just going to remind them you are good. You can do a lot of great things, but we got to take care of us. We have to have each other's backs, and when we have to get after it in practice, and we did that this week, and we bounced back, and we're really focused on rallying right now.
And the next question says, what's your message to the team this week? I'm sure part of it's going to be, we win, we're in for sure.
Right, and it's for sure we got to do what we got to do for playoffs, but we're focused on that playoff push now.
Yes.
It's our district title chances are gone. That was one of our goals for the year. That's one, but we talked about how, if you don't learn that failure is a part of the game or learn how to fail, you're never going to learn what it takes to be successful. And that's something that we've kind of talked about and realized that we don't ever want to act like it is okay to fail, but you will never learn if you never fail, right?
Yes.
And if we sit here and act like it's okay, then that's not acceptable either. We have to realize that we had some mistakes on everybody involved, but we can't let that be. There's no habits that can be formed from that except for the habit of I never want to feel like that again, and we can't let it happen again. We can say that, but we have to act on it.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
Next question, what are the keys to success this week? I'm sure you've already seen quite a bit of film on Rowan County.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Rowan County does a good job with their time of possession. They really try to slow the game down as much as they can and limit your number of possessions because they've had to deal with injuries. So they're trying to keep the games in contention in that sense. But we have to get better. Our number one thing is focus on who we are. We got to get back to run our base off. I think arguably since we haven't done a very good job offensively with our passing game in the last couple of weeks, and that has to improve. Our timing, our pass protection is where that all starts. Everything always starts up front. So our line and Coach Adams has really worked on getting we had a full blitz pickup session for a long time today. We have to get all that stuff ironed out, and I think stuff like that's going to go a long way for us. You got to, in order to throw the football and get your guys open on the field, we have a lot of athletes. We got to have time for it, and we've done a good job today. We had a lot of competition in that sense today too, and that was a good thing. So we got to just focus on becoming able to be balanced again offensively. I think we've kind of got a little bit one-dimensional with running the football the last couple of weeks, which has been the opposite of what we've been the last couple of years.
Right.
And even early in the year, I thought we could throw the ball, but we had struggled running it. Right now we have improved running the football, but we got to make sure we can get back to tossing the pigskin around a little bit.
Right, and I'm sure that after watching film and everything, it's been the little things from last week that it was. It's not the big things, and got to get back to correcting little things.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at we had a blown time at the first play game. We called a little inside zone play, and I think we were just amped up. We had somebody. kind of lock in on the wrong guy, and it kind of screwed the read up on it. We still got a couple yards on the play, but it was a play that would have went arguably for 8 to way more than that. And just a couple blown assignments that we had that I think we were amped up a little bit. Might have even been blocking somebody really hard, or might have been running your route really hard, but we just had just little errors.
Right.
And little errors, when there's a bunch of little errors, they compound into big mistakes, and that was definitely the case Friday.
And the next question comes in. It says, what will success look like for you this Friday beyond the scoreboard?
I think, it has to come down to we have to play our game. And we have to play, when we're looking at this, we always want to give perfect effort. And I don't feel like that was something that happened in the second half last week. But we've already discussed that, and that's something to handle with us internally. But as far as this Friday on the scoreboard, we need to make sure that we are getting those blitz pickups done better. We got to make sure we have time to get the football off. We got to make sure we're making good reads and good decisions with the football. Defensively, we have to make sure we always need to have 11 hats to the ball. We need all, and I think our special teams play, we didn't do a very good job on our returns. We had the biggest play on the night arguably could have been the punt that we didn't get a chance to field because we had kind of a blown coverage on as far as blown blocking assignment on the play. So those are all plays that we make sure we need to lock in on. And if we had that effort right and we go back to playing with passion and playing with 11 for the guy next to you and 11 in the game, we'll be successful, and no matter what we do at that point.
This question says, with Ashland behind you now, and despite the outcome, what do you do to keep the kids focused this week for Rowan County? I mean, obviously, the playoffs is the ultimate goal.
I mean, without a doubt, I guarantee you these kids cannot wait to get back on the field on a Friday night right now. So I don't think there's going to take a lot to get them refocused after that. If they're not ready to go get better, well, then we're never going to be what we need to be. So I think right now we should be dying to play a game of football, and I think we are. I think we want to get that nasty taste out of our mouth and go get the win.
Yep. This question, every staff has their own build when getting ready for a season. What's the perfect number of O-line coaches in your opinion?
I see where that one's from.
David from Salt Lake.
Yeah. I guess let's say you can never have enough. How about that?
Yep. Okay, we'll go with that. Next one, John from Rio Grande, Ohio. Are you superstitious? A favorite post-game or a pre-game tradition?
Yes and no. I mean, I'll say I do believe this is the. I'm going to go ahead and I thought about this because I think this was the first Friday since I've ever been a high school coach, ever, and I'm on my 9th year as a head coach, and I was assistant for 5 years before that. 5 years, and it's the first time on a Friday night, and sometimes I'm not going to lie, I go looking for them. First time I found a heads-up penny before the game and didn't win. So. I always make sure to go. I don't want to. If I go searching for it too much, it's not genuine. It doesn't work. But if I just walk around and find one, it's always worked out until Friday.
Okay. Well.
So I guess no longer. I guess now I'm just superstitious instead of superstitious.
Okay. All right. What about tonight? You've been eating the same thing here. What about for this week?
Yeah, we might mix it up a little bit.
Okay. We've had some close games with Rowan County down there that have meant a lot. How do you make sure we don't have a letdown this week and keep focused?
I mean, I think we've already kind of answered this in a way. I just believe that, if we try to go expect, I think the last year we were 14-7 at Rowan, I believe, at halftime, and really did not play well until the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And I think really last year, the fourth quarter rounds when we found our football team last year. And so we got to make sure that we're just locked in, and I cannot wait to go play against somebody else. We're going to continue to practice hard against each other for the next 2 days this week, and I'm ready to get to Friday. I think our kids are too.
And it'll be the first time in a while we got to go on the road.
And honestly, we've had a pretty good times on the road so far this year. It's all about you then. You can't worry. There's no other distractions. It's just us on a bus, and I always look forward to a fun bus ride home. And we hope we can do that if we take care of it. If we just go do our job and we play with that passion, we'll be okay.
Yeah, and the Boyd County fans always travel very well. Don't expect anything different this week, just an hour down the road.
Yeah, just get on down to Moorhead and check it out.
Let's go ahead, step out, take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more to Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson on the Boyd County Coaches Show. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Hungry for flavor that hits the spot? Red's Place in the Meade Station Plaza has been serving Ashland for 7 years, and they're just getting started. From fan-favorite stuffed mushrooms to hand-patty burgers like the Red's Loaded Burger to jumbo wings tossed in your choice of 20 sauces. You'll taste the difference every time. At Red's Place, it's more than great food. It's personalized service that makes you feel right at home. Red's Place, 8130 Route 60 in Ashland. Find them on Facebook and taste the tradition.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
It's Members Choice Credit Union, member NCUA.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show on 105.7 FM WLGC, live here from Red's Place at 8130 US Route 60 in Ashland. Greg Preston, Evan Ferguson, Ian Wilburn over here running the show, and then we got running the show from back in the office is Dwayne Fowler. A special thanks to those guys. You know, they make it easy on us, Coach.
Yeah, I just got to talk.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And, you know, let's take a look in this segment at some individual stuff that some of your kids have done, and, you know, coming up on some records and things like that. You know, you've got Caleb Kelly here with, you know, tied for 5th in the most with the most pass receptions in a varsity career. I mean, you know, he just keeps moving up.
Yeah, he's done a great job throughout his career, and you know, Caleb, I've given him a hard time about it, but he always says he'd trade you know, every catch for a win. You know, he'd do whatever it takes, and he's just he's a baller, ultimate competitor. I mean, obviously though, he wants the ball in his hands. He believes he can go do the job, and that's the kids you want that want the ball, but also if they don't have it, they just want to see us win. That's a winning mentality, and he definitely carries that. And kids like that have success, you always like to see them be successful, and I think our team is really coming a long way by getting more and more of those kids.
And, you know, speaking of Caleb Kelly, he does a great job as far as just getting kids to follow him, and he does things the right way.
Yeah, he really does. And I think our DB and our receiver core has really, you know, really picked up this year on just the work ethic in general. I mean, you know, I don't want to go back again talking too much about, you know, what happened, but to see our kids, you know, go into the weight room on Monday's workout and not only knock the workout out, but immediately go into wanting to do extra. And you see them go out there to get, you know, a couple, I don't want to, you know, name too many, but, you know, KMA, Connor Davis, guys that just winning mentalities.
Yes.
I mean, they just mad, and the only answer they know to do is to get better. And that's really the only thing we can do. We can either stay the same and be miserable, or we go get better. And, you know, Kelly kind of starts at, he's been he's the old guy in the room, I'd say now, but, you know, it's good to see those other guys, you know, and kind of taking their own leadership along with it too. And it's fun to have leaders along the way.
And, you know, you take a look at your special teams and everything. Connor Davis has been doing a good job. You know, it's not something that shows up in the stats, but, you know, getting the ball in the end zone on kickoffs and making your opponent a lot of times travel 80 yards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a leg and a half on him, and, you know, is a really good soccer player for us as well. And for him to be a position player for us and a soccer player says a lot about the character of that kid. And he's a fine baseball player for you.
And he's really good in the classroom.
Yeah, the kid's going to get home late, doing AP stats, homework till 2 a.m. I mean, he's just a great kid. But, stuff like that, you like to see those guys be successful. And we're talking about Connor. I think he's going to be kicking somewhere on Saturdays in the future. But the other guy who does our place kicking duties, Ryan Crank, is doing a fantastic job as well. So, and honestly, Caden Butler's done a really good job punting. It's nice to have three different guys so they can kind of specialize in what they do, but they're doing a good job for us.
And, kind of a guy, too, that sometimes you don't think about is Thomas Crawford as a receiver. He's up there, top 10, 11 on career touchdown receptions, and he does a great job. You take a look at him, too. If he'd stayed healthy, what he could have done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Thomas double pros Crawford, going long. But, Thomas has he's one of those kids. We talk a lot about Brody's injuries, with the knee injuries. We talked a lot about, that Thomas has been through a lot as well.
Yes.
And I think, I kind of hate that he hasn't got to get, he's kind of had to kind of fly under the radar with that. He's had 2 different knees go. I mean, the same knee, but he's had it 2 different times. And that's really hard, and especially as a receiver, have to use your quickness for that. I think he's continued to improve it. He'll sometimes have it to where it hurts, and you've seen some games where he looks like $1 million, and some games he's not complaining. He's just a guy who, he wants to play. The kid loves the game of football, and I'd love to see him continue to go up that list. And I think for us to make a run out, he's going to need to go up that list for us a little bit higher. But he's done a good job for us and just had to endure a lot. And hats off to him to keep his head down and keep working.
And, the one thing I love about this team is just watching them play together. You can tell they have fun.
Yeah, they definitely they'll be the first to give each other a hard time, but they also they like to celebrate with each other. That's really special, and you really can't put a price on what that means to you. That culture is something we talk about. It's probably the most overused term in coaching, but it's also probably the most important term used in coaching as well. You can't say enough about what a positive culture and a winning culture does for your program. And when you have guys that are like we're talking about, you're winning. And we lost the game Friday, but I still think we have a bunch of kids that are winners and we'll find a way to win.
Yep, and we've had some more questions in here. We'll go ahead and get to those here in just a moment. But, your defense this year has done a really good job of takeaways, whether it be fumbles or whether it be interceptions.
Oh, yeah. And whenever you're turning the team over, you're definitely in a spot to win. And we kind of only got 1 turnover. It's kind of just on that little muff punt they had Friday night. And that was kind of the aberration, what we haven't been having for us. And if we're not turning people over, we're going to, it made us struggle in a way. And Ashland kind of turned it over all year, and they didn't turn over this week. So we got to make sure that we, it's been a great part of our success so far and a big part of it. And I hope we kind of get back to doing that this Friday.
Well, but that 1 turnover you talked about, you capitalized on it.
Yeah, we had a really good opportunity right there. We got the turnover 7-7, and it really come down. I think a lot of our game came down to that first 3rd down. If that was 3rd and 12, and they threw a little flood concept outside, and bobbles it, called it a catch, and it's they ended up going and scoring on that drive.
Right.
And we had. I think that's a play that, they made the winning play there. But if we decided to, if we found a way to get that stop, woulda, coulda, shoulda, a lot of things, I've rethought about that, that decision and stuff. But we got to make sure that we lock in, and that would have been one that I think the momentum of the whole game would have changed last week, honestly, right there. Because it was tie ball game, and our kids kind of, we drove them back 2 plays in a row, got 2 TFLs, and just really unfortunate that we kind of mess it up, and put that one on us on 3rd.
Well, and you talk about TFLs. Your team's had a ton of those this year.
And, things like that lead to success.
Yes.
We talk a lot about explosive plays on offense. I've been saying we need to do a better job of winning that explosive play battle. Well, anytime you get a team off schedule getting a TFL, that's huge. And I think, in the new era of college football, and it's arguably what's happening with high school football at this point, most offenses are good enough if we're able to stay the course to where with all the different reads and stuff like that you can do with RPOs and whatnot, 3 yards is, without trying to sound, obviously sometimes 3 yards seems like forever, but there's an argument that 3 yards is almost a given, if that makes sense.
Right.
And if they're doing the zone read RPO with the bubble on the backside, or the snag routes, the slants and stuff, if they show everything up, I mean, you should have numbers enough to where you can go run the ball and get 3 to 4 yards without even doing anything else right. So whenever you get a tackle for loss, or you kind of get them off schedule, it kind of changes what they have to do. And that's just huge for what modern football's turned into. A lot of college teams stat a chart about, we can't have any negative plays, or have to have less than 3 negative plays, and they just preach the running backs. It's okay sometimes to just get 1 yard, but that ball gets hand off and it's still nasty and gnarly up in there. Find a way to fall forward. And, Jackson Dart talks about being a +2 guy, and find a way to get +2 at all times, and whenever you can do that, it really lets you be more successful.
And, defensively as well, they've helped your offense out this year with some points.
Yeah, the Greenup game, 21 on defense, and you could really easily call that 35 because they drive one down to the 5-yard line, and another one got us to the ball about the 25-yard line. That's short fields, turnovers, momentum changes, all that stuff makes you a better football team, and that was huge for us. And we hope we can get that going again this week. We had some very timely turnovers against Johnson Central. We kept playing, and that's why you say you bend, don't break. We just find a way to keep fighting and get the job done at the end. But it's going to be we got to get back to turning people over on defense, but we got to get back to just playing a little bit more gap sound too.
Yep. Let's go ahead and go back to a few questions here. What's one thing that you need your team to establish early on Friday?
Success, and that sounds so general, but we need to. I think we need to, no matter what it has to be, whether we're doing our power run or whether we're doing, a deep shot, whatever the play may be. What we need to get confident, and we need to see the ball go through the net. If we're talking in basketball terms, we need to get to the free throw line, and we need to see the ball go through the hoop. We need to give Jace some easy throws early. We need to let us get some, we need to get some good blocks early to make some big holes for the backs to run through. We need to make sure we get some 3-and-outs on defense so we get the ball back, and we need to get our offense some confidence and our team some confidence to get each other and playing that way.
What kind of leadership have you seen in the locker room since Friday night?
We've touched on this a little bit. Like I said, we have guys that, they're working their butts off, doing a little bit extra. The weight room, they came in, did a little extra work on their own on Sunday as well. And I asked them and talked to them, you okay? They said, yes, we just got to get better. And whenever, they're not asking for pity, they're not asking for somebody to feel sorry for them. They know that the only answer is to get better right now. That's the only thing we can do. I think that kind of leadership of us knowing it takes what it takes. We actually had a guy, practice a lot of times when we're out of our live periods or whatever, it's kind of live to thud. We don't, we always want to stay up, We don't want people going on the ground. We had a kind of a bigger collision than normal, I'll say today. And Caleb Kelly, brought it up. Somebody was like, hey, easy. And he goes, no, that's what we need. And it's fine. He's just going hard. I'm going hard. Things are going to happen, and that is natural. Things are just going to happen. You're going to have some big collisions in practice sometimes. It's the game of football. It's not it's a collision sport. So I think, stuff like that, whenever we're practicing hard and, you're hitting one of our, for lack of a better term, studs on our team and stars of our team, and he's here for it, and he wants more of it to keep going. That's good leadership, and that's going to take us. And if we continue to practice that way, it just makes you a better football team.
Right. Good question for you right here. How do you balance correcting mistakes while keeping the guys confident?
Well, I think you don't want to say something just to say something, and I think we talked to the kids about that on Friday, and the thing I told them on Friday night, and I think I tried to I know I was short on the air Friday after the game, but we weren't happy. I was unhappy emotionally at that point as well. That's unacceptable. But we can't go and try to make assumptions until we have proof of what happened on film. The film doesn't lie, and whenever we can show it on film, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And as far as, they know that we're coming from a good place. And we know our coaches, we've sweated with them. We've been there with them through the ups and the downs. And I'm going to be with them through every down there still is throughout their life. If they, So I think whenever you kind of show that you're not just talking and saying something just to be saying it or whatever, you understand that I'm here for their success now and down the road. I think, I want to see them be successful. I think they had a couple. We talked about a quote today. We might have got humbled a little bit, but we can't at the same time. You can't lose your swagger and you can't lose your cockiness.
Yes.
There's a fine line between confident and cocky, and I don't believe you can be a good athlete without kind of flirting with that and pushing arguably to the cocky
100%.
side. You always want to be a good person, be humble, be respectful, have good manners. But when you're on that field, you got to play with a little bit of the swagger.
You got to believe you're the guy.
Right, and so I think we know our guys. I'm coaching you to do that, and we're all doing that. And I think just the kids know we want success. If they don't want the success as well, then it's probably not going to work. But we have a bunch of kids that want to win, and they're here to get better.
Now, with your kids' soccer season being over, how do those kids' extra reps pay off now?
I think it'll be, obviously, I think a lot of, what our soccer and all of our different sports programs do. I think Coach Pennington and me have a really good relationship, and I appreciate that. We're sharing kids and sharing athletes. And at school, like we have to do, we have to make sure we continue to share and let kids be kids, 'cause that's important. But, they had they did some good things this year in their soccer team, but, they came up short. And right now, and they're, those kids actually had to go through that loss too.
Yes.
And that's hard on kids to continue to do that. But we kind of got to make sure we're there for those kids that, we're rooting for them to go win their games. And obviously we're winning with them here, so we obviously want to win. But it was really, it's going to be an opportunity for them to kind of expand their role. And I talked to Coach Pennington on the year is, I didn't want to make a mistake of overplaying a kid and overtiring or getting an overuse injury.
Right.
And I think we have to make sure we communicate that with each other. And hats off to him we worked together. We actually co-op in 2 classes together in biology. So it was really good that we had that relationship. But these kids can now expand their role a bit. So I do hate it for them. I think they do a great job always with some success, but it is no secret that it probably will help the benefit us to expand their role and a very important time going to make a playoff push.
And, I came up under a coach, a mentor that once told me football season, it's the first season of the school year, and it's that sets the tone for the morale of the school for the rest of the year. You believe in that?
I definitely do. I think that football it's very traditional. It's very much so about the crowd Friday night kind of exemplified what
Yes.
that means, and we had an opportunity to make a big statement and we didn't do it. But, I still think that, kids have to show resilience in everything. And with our school, we have a great school. And I think we have, a lot of great teachers, great administration. And overall, our kids need to reflect that and reflect the quality and the character of our kids at Boyd County. And whenever we're going to show that we're resilient, we can get knocked down, but we're going to get back up this week.
Yep.
And whenever we show that we're not afraid to back down from anybody and we're going to step up and get back on our feet this week, I think that, that can really set the tone for us as a school year because, I see, our basketball team supporting our baseball team.
Yep.
We have these guys. We have a lot of multi-sport athletes now doing this, but
it's always good to have that.
And we got to make sure we're there to support our basketball team this winter, our wrestling team this winter, our baseball team and stuff this spring and track.
One more question before we get to a break. If there's one thing you want fans to know about this group moving forward, what would it be?
I just think I don't know how to say this, probably to get the right word. But I would just say it's been a really fun group to coach. The amount of drive in them has been phenomenal, and I think the fact that they are willing to work and do whatever it takes. And while we didn't get the job done, I haven't heard excuses since Friday night.
Yep.
And I think that I hear a lot of these questions have been all about Friday night, and that's to be expected. And I appreciate it, but this season and Friday night does not define who these kids are. And I want them to know that. That Friday night does not define. Now it did on Friday, and we're going to talk a lot about it. But I'm really proud to be their coach, and they do a really great job of working hard every day and doing the things right on the field. And in the class, we got to make sure we celebrate their victories as well.
Yes.
And I just want to say that I'm proud of them, and we got to make sure we bounce back and realize and just show they have a chance to show everybody what they're made of going forward by bouncing back right here.
Let's go ahead, step out, take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about this week's opponent, Rowan County, here on the Boyd County's Coaches Show from Red's Place. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank, located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At Clark's Pump and Shop, we're not just a gas station, we're your neighbors.
We're the folks who support your child's sports teams. Fuel your mornings with fresh ground coffee and have a friendly staff that probably knows the name of your dog.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Hungry for flavor that hits the spot? Red's Place in the Meade Station Plaza has been serving Ashland for 7 years, and they're just getting started. From fan favorite stuffed mushrooms to hand patty burgers like the Red's Loaded Burger to jumbo wings tossed in your choice of 20 sauces, you'll taste the difference every time. At Red's Place, it's more than great food. It's personalized service that makes you feel right at home. Red's Place, 8130 Route 60 in Ashland. Find them on Facebook and taste the tradition.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to Red's Place, 8130 U.S. Route 60 here in Ashland for the Boyd County Coaches Show on 105.7 FM WLGC. Greg Preston, Evan Ferguson, glad to have you back here. In this segment, Coach, we still got about 13 minutes left in the program, but we're going to take a little bit of time because we owe you one more break along the way. But we're going to talk about Rowan County here. You know, you can throw the records out the door. They're 1-6 and 0-2. But, you know, you take it back to that district championship game a few years ago, and you know what can happen.
Absolutely. I think we had a little bit of a premature celebration on that after we came back from winning at Scott. I think we might have, lost our focus a little bit going to that one. But they are they've done a great job, doing some things the right way. And like you said, throwing the records out, it's also senior night. You know, whenever you play your last game on the field that you grew up playing on, it just kind of it hits different. It means a lot to you to make sure you come out ready to play. So we really hope that, we know they're going to come out ready, excited, and they'll have that senior night hype, and we got to be focused on what we need to do.
And, you know, you talked about they had some injuries. They've got some guys out. Don't know if they'll be back, but at least according to looking at the numbers, you're probably going to see more of a running game than you will a passing game. But the Hamilton kid can complete passes. He's over 50%, and he does a really good job back there.
And they made a couple of nice plays. I mean, against Johnson Central last week, I mean, they scored a 22-6 on a really nice corner route. It was he threw a nice ball up there, and the kid made a great play going up and getting the football. So they do a good job. The Jug kid's a really good football player for them, 24. I feel like every year I've ever played Rowan County, they've had really good defensive ends, and they're always able to rush the passer. So and they play a little bit different defense than anybody else does in the district. So we kind of got to get back to focusing on what they do, and it's kind of a different week in that sense for us. So we got to get locked into a different front. They kind of do a little bit of a 4-3 in a way, but they roll it and change some different things.
Yep. And, a district game, so you really don't have to say anything else because playoffs are on the line. Absolutely. It's a district game, and it's a football Friday night. We only get 10 of them a year regular season, and I still say, some of our guys that are basketball and baseball guys are like, it just, whenever you happen to suffer a defeat like that, it's nice in some sports you get that back here in a couple of days. We got 7 days before you get to do it again, and and then at the same time, you don't get to play them 2-3 times in a year. So we can't wait to at least go get after somebody again this Friday. Good question in here too. Says, are they planning to rename this place Go Big Red's Place? I kind of like that, don't you?
I don't know. We'll see. Come try the food and you can ask.
Yeah, come and try. I'll tell you what, every week the crowd's gotten bigger out here as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable crowd down here tonight, which is great. I don't know. I'm sure they're here just enjoying some good food, but I love it myself, and I'm getting ready to place an order for too long.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Rowan County, a team with a lot of tradition-rich football as well. I don't know if people realize that. You go down there, it's a tough place to play.
Yeah, it's just different. You get the stands on one side. It could kind of get some little bit of the fans could kind of start intermingling probably a little bit much. But
I've seen that.
Yeah, last time we were down there, we had a little incident like that. So we want to make sure that district title game down there that went to overtime was just a phenomenal environment. It meant a lot to get that win. But it's hard to believe that was 3 years ago. Well, really 4 years ago now. So it's just. Time flies by, and this round team itself can do some things. I think they showed some success, early in the season, doing some different things with different kids across. Kids is a phenomenal athlete. Yep. He's been banged up lately. Yes. Again, you just don't know where everybody's at on the injury report right now, but we definitely, anybody else, you can't take them lightly, but we can't worry about our opponents ever. We got to do a better job playing Boyd County football. We didn't do that last week, so we got to get back to doing that this week.
And a lot to learn here from last week, but a lot of great games with Rowan County in the past, but Jace Manning, and I bring him up a lot, but I think he's a really good quarterback for you.
He is. I think that we got to get him. We got to get his confidence up a little bit this week too. I think the pass rush last week was. I'll say it was. You can say it was a great job by them, but I'll just say it was unacceptable by us. We got to do a better job of getting the ball out, protecting it to where he can get it out, and. There were just some opportunities we got to definitely improve at there. There's no secret. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat that one too much because I don't think there's a lot to sugarcoat with that. And he needs, like I said, we need to see that ball go through the net this week. Right. And because I thought he was kind of carrying us a little bit early. That against Gallia Academy, we don't win without him throwing the ball around that first half and what he did. So he did a great job. He's played a lot of good football for us, and we got to let him have some time to go be himself and go have fun.
Yep, and you take a look at Blake Sexton. He's really run the ball well for you. I think 11 rushing touchdowns this year. He's done a great job when he touches the football.
Yeah, Blake's a really special athlete. I think he has a bright future playing football. As a sophomore, he's still doing a great job playing both ways every snap of the game. James has kind of been banged up last couple of weeks, and we kind of lost a little bit of that duo for the last couple of weeks, and it'll be exciting to try to get that back hopefully very, very soon.
And, you talk about playing both ways. You're going in to your ninth game of the season. How is that taking a toll?
Like I said, having 9 straight, it's definitely it definitely has its own tasks and challenges. But we could probably use some time to get rested up. But I think right now, everybody would be mad if we had to wait another week to play. So I'm really excited to.
I agree with
we
you
got to
there.
go get after it, and if we can go, it'll be a good time for us to get fresh going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and a chance this week to get a lot of people involved in the ball game.
I hope so. We got to get a lot of people playing good football, playing simple, and get them in that game. So if you're going to play, we want to go just focus on what we need to do, and we'll see how that goes. But I think we've got some bright young stars coming up, and the future is still very bright here in the county. We got some guys that can do a lot of things that are young, and we're still a pretty young football team ourselves.
Right. What do we have to do to come out of a win at Rowan County?
I think that we need to win the turnover battle. We lost it last week, one of the few times we lost it all year, and that's a big part of what happened. But we got to make sure we win the turnover battle. We can't have any stupid penalties and errors that would cost us in that sense. And I think we got to get our offense rolling again a little bit. We got to make sure we got to get a little bit more balance. We got to get a passing game going again. And if we do that, I like our chances.
Yep. And a kid I'd like to mention, I think he's done a really good job for you defensively as well as Caden Nottingham. I mean, he's double figures with tackles last week too.
Yeah, that kid just, he's a guy who's come out this year and just plays really hard, and he wears it on his sleeve when it doesn't go well. And you like kids that just give it their all and leave it out there. And he's continued to bounce back. The kid's grown up so much since he's been a freshman, and just a really fine young man, and I'm proud to get to coach a kid like that.
Tough as nails. Let's go ahead, step out, take our final break. When we come back, we'll talk a few more minutes and close this thing out. But travel with us Friday to Moorhead, Rowan County Senior High School. We'll be on the air in case you can't get there. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock with countdown to kickoff. 7:30 will be kickoff. And it should be a good one come Friday. District game, the last district game of the year. The Lions win. They are for sure in the playoffs. So let's go ahead, step out, take this final break. When we come back, we'll close things out. Back after this on 105.7 FM WLGC.
Hungry for flavor that hits the spot? Red's Place in the Meade Station Plaza has been serving Ashland for 7 years, and they're just getting started. From fan-favorite stuffed mushrooms to hand-patty burgers like the Red's Loaded Burger to jumbo wings tossed in your choice of 20 sauces. You'll taste the difference every time. At Red's Place, it's more than great food. It's personalized service that makes you feel right at home. Red's Place, 8130 Route 60 in Ashland. Find them on Facebook and taste the tradition.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Since 1932, it's Members Choice Credit Union, member NCUA.
No down payment? No problem. Here at KFB, we make homeownership easy with our no down payment home loans. Whether you're buying your first home or ready for something new, KFB is here to guide you every step of the way. Apply today and take the first step towards your dream home with no money down. Restrictions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. KFB, the better bank. Located at Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, Summit, and Wheelersburg. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're back with all the action, all the pride. Boyd County Lions football on 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back to the Boyd County Coaches Show, live from Red's Place, 8130 U.S. Route 60. All right here on 105.7 FM WLGC. Greg Preston, Evan Ferguson. We're glad to have you along. Let's go ahead and give our thank yous out. We're about ready to close this thing out. Thank you to Ian Wilburn being out here. He sets everything up. All I got to do is put a headset on.
He's pretty handy.
Yeah, he's pretty handy. Dwayne Fowler back at our studio. He makes sure this show runs extremely smooth, takes a lot of pride in what he does. And we still owe him some Boyd County gear. We'll get that to him. A great guy. Glad to have him along and on our side. Coach, one final comment here. Take a look at it. Boyd County, Rowan County, all time 17-17.
I actually didn't know that.
Yep.
That's interesting. It'd be great to make it 18 in favor of us this week.
Yep.
So this would be a big game for us. We got to get back on the right track, and we got to make sure we're locked in and playing for the guys in our corner,
Yep.
And if we do that, and we got to make sure we support each other, and we got to be our biggest fans, and we got to be believing in each other and believing in ourselves. If we do that, I think we'll be just fine.
And a win on Friday night would send the Lions for sure into the Class 4A state playoffs, which begin in November, and it's always good to be playing ball at that time. Like I said, once again, down at Rowan County Senior High School Friday, 7 o'clock countdown to kickoff. 7:30 will be kickoff. Boyd County and Rowan County, the Lions' final district game of the year, chance to get into the playoffs. Right now they're sitting in a good spot, but the Lions have their own destiny in their hands with a win. You don't have to worry about RPI or anything about that. Special thanks out here to Red's Place again tonight. They treat us great, they always do. And for Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson, I'm Greg Preston. And until Friday night, 7 o'clock, good night and God bless.
This This has been the Boyd County Lions Coaches Show on 105.7 WLGC and the Total Media Sports Network. All rights reserved. Tune in next time for all your Boyd County Lions high school sports action. This broadcast of Boyd County Lions Athletics has been an exclusive presentation of the Total Media Sports Network and Hank FM 105.7 WLGC. Greenup.